Hey boys and girls, today we are going to start converting metric units. So remember, in our conversions we have length, liquid volume, or mass. So length, how long something is, volume is the capacity or liquid measurement, and mass, or when we're doing customary units, weight, or how much mass something has. Okay, so we have this conversion chart that can help us, and we've talked about it a little bit with king, hecto, because we have kilo, hecto, deca. This is our base right here. And remember, with metric units, you always have these words meter, liter, or gram. So we can have a kilometer, a kiloliter, a kilogram. The base word is always in our units of measurement, which makes it pretty easy to remember. Then we have deci, centi, milli. These deca and deci aren't used very much, and really hecto isn't used very much either, but we will see them as we're working these problems out. And a lot of times we can remember this by saying King Hector died by drinking chocolate milk. Or like some of my students have said, drinking cafeteria milk. Whatever helps you remember, it is good. And remember that we're always moving by powers of 10, just like we do with decimals. As we get one unit larger, that's like multiplying by 10. If we go one unit smaller, that's like dividing by 10. Okay, so today we're going to convert all sorts of metric units. So the first one said, this dinosaur, Lesosaurus, was one of the smallest dinosaurs. It had a mass of 3,630 grams. About how many kilograms was that dinosaur? So it's written right here. You're changing grams to kilograms. Remember, grams are really small, so we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, which means we're going to divide. How many grams are in 1 kilogram? There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. And we can remember that because, just like it says here, if you're here at grams and you're going to kilograms, you're moving up 1, 2, 3. That's like times 10, times 10, times 10, 10, 100, 1,000. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. To convert from grams to kilograms, you're converting from smaller to larger or larger to smaller. Well, we just said we knew we were going from smaller to larger. What operation are we going to use? We're going to divide. We know when we go from smaller to bigger, we divide. And so then we're going to show our division sign, and we know that we have to divide by 1,000. So one thing that I want to review with y'all is, remember, there's always a decimal at the end of every number. Even if we don't see it, it's there. If we're dividing by 1,000, 10, 100, 1,000, we're going to move that decimal back 3 times. And that's going to show us our new value, 3 and 630 thousandths, or 3 and 63 hundredths. So about how many kilograms? You could say about 3 kilograms, which makes sense because in our mind, if we were to divide 3,000 by 1,000, 3 would make the most sense. All right, let's turn the page to 456. The largest wingspan for a dinosaur belonged to a species, Quetzalcoatlus. What was the wingspan in millimeters? And what was it in kilometers or kilometers? So it's telling you right here in the picture that the wingspan was 16 meters. So we're right here in meters. But I want to know 16 meters is how many millimeters? And 16 meters is how many kilometers. So A says to convert the measure to millimeters, we're going to move that decimal point to where the millimeters are. So we're also going to think, I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. Meters are here. I'm going to move 3 times forward because I'm going to have a lot more millimeters than I am meters because millimeters are so tiny. So I'm going to actually be multiplying that by 1,000. So we're going to move the decimal 3 times. So we can write that number 16. We know there's always a decimal at the end of the number even if we don't see it. And we're getting bigger. 1, 2, 3. So I have to add my 3 zeros and it'd be 16,000 millimeters. To convert it to kilometers, we're going to go where kilometers are. We're going to be smaller because kilometers are bigger. So we're here at meters, we're going to move backwards 3 times. So again, we're going to move that decimal 3 places. And if we're here at 16 and I'm going to a smaller unit, 1, 2, 3, my new number will be 16 thousandths kilometer because it's going to be less than 1. If I've got 16 and I'm dividing it by 1,000, I know I'm going to get a number smaller than 1. All right, let's look at page 457 and let's go on down to the bottom here where we're seeing lots of different values. So I'm going to write King Hector. And I'm remembering my base, my gram, meter, liter is always right here in the middle. So 4 6/10 meters is how many centimeters? So I know my meters are right here at the base. So if I write 4 6/10 and I'm changing to centimeters, so I'm going to move 2 units to the right. That's going to be 460 centimeters. But like I said, you're always going to get that conversion chart. So we know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So you can, instead of moving the decimal, you could multiply it out by 100. But since we're multiplying by these powers of 10, we know we can easily just move those decimals. Okay, let's look at this one. 1.8 liters. And we're changing to milliliters. Again, liters are at our base. We're making smaller units. We're moving to milliliters. So it's going to take a lot more. We're moving bigger to smaller. So we're going to multiply by 1,000. And if we're multiplying by 1,000, that means we can move 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Add zeros. So it'd be 1,800, which makes sense. Because 1 8/10, 1 times 1,000 is 1,000, so that makes sense. Okay, for number 9, we're changing from grams to kilograms. So grams is our base unit, and we're moving backwards to kilograms. It's going to be smaller because it's going to take less of those. So we're going to divide by 1,000. I know there's always a decimal here, even if I don't see it. I'm going to move backwards 3 times. So that answer would be 58 thousandths. So if I keep looking at number 10, let's go to number 12. Number 12 says 84.5 kilometers. I wanted to do this one because it has that fraction. 2 meters. Okay. Well, I want to know what a half is, so I need to go ahead and change that to meters. I know that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer or in a kilometer. So I know that there's 84,000 or 84.5. And then if I'm changing that to meters, I'm getting more units, 1, 2, 3. That would be 84,500. Or if you know that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, there'd be 84,000 plus your 500. So 84,500. All right, and so that is what we're doing today. I want y'all to work hard, do your best.